37 now.
37 now. Okay.
Is Dato Tony in?
Tony not in yet.
Tony not yet, but CS is here.
Better go through a sequence of presentation or anything, or this is purely a Q&A session, CS.
Yeah, Q&A, but this is a participant call.
Yeah.
More of an interaction, not so much on Q&A alone, just that let them voice what is your opinion, and then free discussion a bit.
Let them. Your
Oh lah, this one reading glass lah.
Make you look wiser.
Actually, Dato, your light very dark lah.
My light very dark.
Dato side, Michael.
I'm okay, right?
Okay.
lined up what?
Can't see your face clearly.
I need to change the place. Let me try and see. Okay, let me. Wait. Let me.
Log on and check out. Not easy.
Chị tao à?
Xuống cái ảnh. Mute yourself.
This is video, so it's okay.
Here.
Better. Yeah.
No sudah.
This
No
one
sudah.
better.
Better.
You open the window. Open window what?
Yeah, open window lah. I thought don't use close the window. Using the light, but cannot. You say sudah. So open window lah.
Yeah.
No better.
Tony in already lah.
Tony not see him here.
Yeah.
Huh? Tony here.
Tony not here yet. Yeah, for those who are not speaking, it's good that if you can mute your mic, and then our network will be better. Noise will be less.
Tony say 7.
Oh,
Mistake. Oh.
I think we give another 5 minutes so everybody will come in, then we start. Is it okay, Dato?
Okay. Okay, Tony say 1 minute. He's coming.
Oh, good.
How many already? Facebook Live already.
Hello, Tony, in already?
这里面有，这个他连就是你都去 participate 这里面。这样子呀。
Okay, let's start. Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us to the session, this webinar that organized by SME Malaysia. We hope that everybody rests well during MCO, and we know that MCO extended again another 2 weeks. And today we have our DATO President, Dr. KANG, as well as our Vice President, Dr. Tony LOOI, together with us also our legal advisor, Dr. WANG from Arthur Lien and Associate, Dr. Wang Lien and Associate. Thanks for joining us today to provide your opinion whenever there's some question arise. And today's section is pretty easy. We want to make it easy for everybody. Do you have any question? You can either type to the chat box to send us your question, or you can just raise your hand or click in and ask us to speak. Today we know that there are many questions that we want to answer if possible within the hours that we have, and do hope that we receive more feedback from all of you, because that we not really note that the perhatian for or the special or the package that provided by the government are not really helpful, and from the few event news from the market as well as from the industry, we know that many companies have started closing down and people are losing job, and after another couple of extension, it will be getting worse. So, and today event, you can raise your question in either English or Mandarin, and all the speaker here can speak Mandarin.
Yeah, even bahasa.
Bahasa Malaysia, because this is Malaysia anyway. Of course, bahasa Malaysia everybody understand. We accept any language, and we have the expert here to provide you answer, and also we want to listen from you. Whatever you're not happy about, whatever it will hit you, what do you think they do, and what have they done? Is it enough for us, enough for you? And we want to hear everything, because today we want to really collect a lot of feedback, a lot of information to make ourselves more solid when we talk to the government. So without further ado, I would like to invite our Dr. President to give a few words before we start the event. Dr. Michael.
Thank you, Sia Chin, presidents, and Tony LOOI is here. I think all welcome all the members and all the Malaysia SME. I think the most important today, what we want is, we hope that this is a very easy dialogue. We want to hear from you. What is your voice? Especially government announced another rounds of MCO extended until 12th of May. We doesn't know whether after 12th of May we're going to extend or not. I think as I understand, a lot of SME will be facing a lot of problem. As what the last our survey, majority of SME, I think about 70% of SME, their cash flow can only till end of the month. So what I see that SME definitely facing challenges for next 2 weeks, whether they have to decide whether going to retrain the staff or whether temporary shutdown, or they're going to claim the government subsidy for 1,200 or 800 or 600. So I think this is very important. That's why we want to hear the voice from the SME, all of yours, please raise your voice, your concerns, what you're going to do for the next, what can we help you, how we can do it, how we can do it. So maybe I need to collect all your suggestion, your problem, your issue, then we will raise to the government. At the same time, I think the SME through whatever difficulty you all face, what problem you all face, you need to consult. I think IT, all those or mergers, all these experts are even very experienced SME give advice, what to do next, how SME can pass through this crisis. So this is very important to this. Please let us know what is your issue, what is your problem, how we can help you. I think that is more important. I think we're not going to talk much. I think I leave the time to all the whoever participate. And then to come down. I think
Okay, thank you, Dr. Michael. We have Dr. Tony LOOI is already here. And how are you?
New Wi-Fi down, I don't know what happened. Heavy rain in my house. How are you? Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I just come in. I don't know what just now the Wi-Fi down. I don't know what the session just now.
No, we just started only. So introduction and Dr. Michael speak a bit, and then maybe you can give some couple of minutes talk before we continue to start the Q&A.
Oh, so I just welcome only. So welcome everyone.
Okay.
So sorry for my late because my Wi-Fi suddenly down. So just connected using the mobile data. Happened. Think about that for the late.
Okay, good. Thank you, Dr. Tony. So we can start now. Anybody who want to say anything, just go. And we leave the floor to all of us, all of you. Thank you. Please.
Okay, very good afternoon. I'm Adrian Yeo.
Yeah.
Running an accounting firm, primarily the SME. So I realized that from my clientele, I expect right through to December, the receivable will be maybe until December only up to 70-80%. So the cash flow becomes a serious issue. So I have some proposal that ask the government to defer loan and hire purchase payment until December and suspend EPF contribution for employees and employers, maybe for 6 months or until end of the year, and also subsidize the wages above 4,000. Also, I have 3 requests. That would ease the cash flow, the SMEs.
Thank you, Adrian Yeo. Thank you for your solutions. Okay. I just want to know if we do you think the numbers of reduce or numbers be lost a job in next, until December.
Deferring the suspending EPF, I think is an urgent thing to do because EPF is supposed for saving and retirement, but the cash flow of SME broadly deficit right through the whole year, so there's nothing to contribute. So the EPF shouldn't come in, should be suspended until the business is positive in cash flow, whereby the bank repayment, the deferment of bank and hire purchase outflow from the government, except maybe subsidy of wages, 4,000.
Any other question? Any other?
Hi, I'm Singly here. I wish to use my webcam, but it doesn't seem to be working all of a sudden. So I'm sorry if I can't be a bit more. I can't show my face. Okay. So basically, I run a retail chain. And I'm into manufacturing as well. So apart from the bank's loan moratorium, right? That's on the banking side. And then, but most of us who are in the manufacturing line, we know that these machines and equipments, they are not financed by banks. Normally, we will be getting loans from Orix, Lease, these credit leasing companies. But the BNM, I'm not sure if they're governed by BNM, but then I suppose the government could do something, especially on that part, to possibly give out a moratorium for the leasing companies' repayments as well. Then I think that one can really improve cash flows on a monthly basis and an ongoing basis. That's my suggestion.
Financial institute also got moratorium. If you have problem, please let us know which financial institute did not give you or offer your moratorium, and what company you hold. Please write it down, pass it to us. I will check you.
Okay. Do I leave it in the chat box or do I email it to you?
You email to association. You pass it down to our secretary.
Will do.
Okay. Thanks. Any others? Again?
I think there's a question on the chat group. Just challenges for SME in obtaining SF fund by Bank Negara Malaysia.
Take the loan from the bank. The actual answer, whatever, when we communicate with Bank Negara, there's nothing wrong. But Bank Negara, yes, one of the main challenges is bank did not give you the loan, or bank rejected your loan, or bank give you a difficulty. Can you give us some proof? I need some information. Computer is not easy to get. Why? How? Give me the answer. Give me the actual real case. I need it.
妈咪的 computer， 这个先给你。
我在冲凉。
The line is not internet connection is not that good.
I think the network was quite bad. Can't really hear.
Yeah.
Someone is switching on their mic and then really disturbing. Can someone not speaking, please switch off your mic?
The MyKRIS side, I think the admin, please help to control the host.
Already mute all the other participants.
Yeah. So the participant who want to speak, raise a hand. You or
Very heavy rain.
one question on the Facebook. They say MBB is overwhelming. Yes, correct. MBB already over that target. Other bank is not yet, because I understand MBB already approved 1.75 billion, because we only have 5 billion fund. So MBB already took up majority. The other bank are still very slow, are not yet approved any, still very low.
Okay, one more question. I see it on the chat. We definitely need government to increase the funding or incentive for SME, as the current package is simply not sufficient. But does the government have fiscal space to provide additional injection? Is there parliament approval required at this might exceeded the debt to GDP ratio of 55%, which requires such approval? Does above limit what government can do to increase the stimulus amount?
Increase, but depend on what incentive they want. I need them to spell out what they want. You just simply say that, you know, the government don't know what you all want. I need to actually understand. Please give a solution. Don't just say that you don't want the government increase the smaller package. How? Like double the salary subsidy or 1,000, remove all the conditions. Just give away every employee. That means that how many numbers of retrenchment going to be reduced, which is what we want to know, so that the government can put in consideration. So I think whatever budget government need to use, definitely. So parliament going to table on the. So before that, we need to collect all the information from the SME. What you all need. How difficult are you all now? Numbers of employees right now, are you going to lay off your staff? You need government to immediate open up. All this, I need your suggestion. I need your problem. What problem you all face? If not, I don't know how to say, okay, I just tell government I need increased numbers of subsidy. What you all, I need the figures, and I need actual solution. After this, if government give it, can help your sustain your business. Can you survive?
Dr. Michael. Okay, I'm Singly here. Yeah. So I did suggest something earlier. One more thing is that that I can think of was rentals. Although the government has already rolled out a minimum of 30% discount, and then they give some tax incentives, right? I don't think that is sufficiently enough, because because you see, even if it is a 30%, there's another 70% that most owners are not willing to provide any deferment or any form of there's no leeway, to put it quite frankly, because then they want it to be on a monthly basis. So most of my the landlords that I've come across, they are saying it is only 30%, and some of them they say the deduction is nowhere sufficient, because you're deducting it as a deductible rather than at a higher. It's not at a higher quantum. So I suppose the suggestion is that if the tax incentive can be more for the landlords to give them sufficient incentive to allow retailers to weather the situation a bit rather than 30%, because at 30%, I think it's not the whole 30% will be a deductible, but then there will be a portion of it will be deductible only. So of course, I understand from the landlord perspective, if it is not worth it, they are not really willing to move an inch or that kind of thing. That's my suggestion.
Okay, I think a landlord, rental, I think can't do much at the moment, because as long as your government's GLC property, I think they're able to waive the rental for 1 or 2 months, even maybe 3 months. But for private sectors, a bit. This is why we are suggesting government to come out the COVID-19 Act to supersede the or whatever agreement. So if with this, I think most of that you have to negotiate with your landlord, because this is a win-win. If they refuse to reduce, I think you can terminate. You can, according to your agreement, to terminate your rentals. You can move. I think after COVID-19, definitely there's a lot of office empty, or retail space will be empty. Nobody. I think they're also worried. I don't think the landlord, they're just the one, but really, if they don't want to work together, I think this kind of don't mind also it's okay. Nobody going to rent from that in the future. I think we hope by 18th of May, government going to table the COVID-19 Act. When the Act come up, I think you all can. Time being, you need to pay anything first. You're happy difficult in your financing. It's my suggestion. I'm not sure, but I think we already suggest, this government can do. If landlord really want to help industry, they want to work. If not, I think they're going to pay for itself.
All right, thank you.
Dato?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. Yes. Just a suggestion from me. Number one, if you go back to during the crisis, the previous crisis, the government activate the Dana Harta and the CDRC. At the moment, there's no information on the Dana Harta and CDRC, and more so, it should be tailored for the SME, not only for the GLCs or the major company. So that will take off 6 months of currently the loan has been deferred only the 6 months. So looking at the situation, we are already 2 months into the COVID. And after 4 months, and I think if any company to survive, you're taking about 2 to 3 years. So we should look at it on the prolonged time of kind of gestation for a company to survive. Because talking to the banks, they are different kind of animals altogether. So the government should take off all these loans out from the banks and put it under the government and restructure the loans per what practiced during the Dana Harta and the CDRC time. Second thing is this, because currently for those employment, we're talking about subsidizing is only $600 for those subsidy from, but it's not sufficient for those senior management staff. They're only looking at 4,000 and below. There are others, executive and senior managers. I think that is something the government should look at. And also so start activating training for all the executive level so that they can enhance skills. So when everything is over, they have a better skill to equip to help all the SMEs in terms of employability. Third is the digitalization and technology. Looking at the situation, I think technology and digitalization is here to stay. Many SMEs are still behind. So the SME together with the government should help the SME, whether through e-commerce, training, online marketing, advertising and promotion, so that they can be more visible in the industry. That is a suggestion from me.
this program. I think government did a digital training part under skilling. If not mistaken, is that I think quite here.
Hello, Dato, can you hear me? I'm Lau. Okay, I've got a problem here. Now, we are in the manufacturing of polymerizing resins, okay, and we have got the license, or rather approval, to commence production. But this is subject to the local authorities' approval for the duration of work. Now, the thing is that for our kind of industry, we need to have 24 hours operation non-stop. But the current situation is that the standard, standard operation is that we are only allowed to work 8 to 8, which doesn't help us at all, you see. So what do you think is the best suggestion? We have written to the local town council. Hello? Hello? Yes, yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Tomorrow morning, I have a meeting with the MITI. MITI call all the include the local town council. That we have a meeting to discuss about this issue to solve this working hours issue. So we will update after the meeting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, next. Hello. Here.
Yes, can hear you.
Anyone else speaking?
Okay, any so we have utterly our legal question, or you want us to help on all this part, please raise your question, raise your concern. I need your concerns so that I can bring up your concern to the government because you don't tell me your problem, your issue, your challenges, you know, it doesn't know start from where, how to help you. I need your concern. What is your problem face? You know, if we can help you to do such, help you to solve your problem, can you survive? Can you sustain your business? Can you continue? Can you not do any stuff? This is what we want. If you lay off stuff, because I'm worried that too many jobless in the market, it will create a social problem. So if let's say by June or July, there's 2 million, 3 million jobless in the country, I think I'm worried that those people without food on the table, they create a social issue. So I need solution. I need all the SME entrepreneurs come together, how we can solve this issue, how we can, as an association, we can help you to convey your message to the government, to help you to solve your problem, to overcome your crisis, and to continue doing your business, contribute your business to the country economy.
Hi, Dato. This is Lynn from Mesa Worldwide. We represent the exhibitions industry. But I'm going to be talking on a very general term because we are part of the service industry, and the service industry is the hardest hit at this point in time, with no, you could say, future for the moment, especially retailers unable to operate. The gig economy depends on the service industry, so there has not been any kind of assistance whatsoever given in this part of the industry that completes the supply chain of the Malaysian economy. And this also leads to tourism. What are we looking at in terms of ensuring that the service industry, the hospitality industry, the tourism industry, and the events industry continues to thrive despite not having any assistance whatsoever?
Okay, I think, if not mistaken, I think come up the more on this industry. It's not mistaken today, the EAC meeting, they discussed about post-COVID, how to help the industry, especially the worst industry is the hospitality. I think government going to come up to some solution on this industry. On the other hand, I want to collect more information from yours. What kind of assistance you all need, so that I can convey your message to the government, can put into the government's the new policy, or how government can help.
Okay, so in relation to this, I think maybe what they can do is, because I came from another meeting to do with exhibitions overseas, is that they should allow some kind of certain exhibitions to go on, not consumer-based, but B2B events in particular. Of course, you implement certain measures, but B2B events within Malaysia or even around the region, also because our manufacturers require platforms in order for them to be able to showcase whatever they require. I'm not saying that I would be the one to be able to spearhead this, but at least there should be some kind of leverage for the government to want to look into this. There are ways to ensure that we can do business the traditional way, the e-commerce way, going online way, but also don't forget, I think exhibitions/events always plays a crucial part in marketing products and putting it out there. So if we have a concerted effort, the government should look into this first with B2B events before you even consider B2C, because B2C is even more difficult, plus putting in measures like social distancing, face masks, specific rules and regulations that there's only a specific number of people who can enter, but at least it gives people the leverage of wanting to show their products. Especially now when some companies have pivoted their mainstream products to do what is required for the pandemic, it means then they can actually showcase their expertise in this case. So it's like DF Automation, who has done the IV disinfectant AV robot that's now going to be trialed. So it's interesting to see where this can actually go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will convey your message.
Dr. Michael, there's a question, in fact, many of them asking about the ICT and technologies companies are not allowed to open, like downs, and then they can't even have the maintenance engineer to come by and service them. So if you possibility to talk to MITI tomorrow when you meet them, especially on ICT and technology services?
Tomorrow, PCOM will be there. I think PCOM definitely they will raise out their concern.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I think there's a question from the floor, and asking about you couldn't find any information regarding the part where employee not coming to work, and how should we resolve? According to the government, we are not allowed to work full force. How should we pay those who turn out to work and those who do not come to work? and he needs some advice. Maybe we leave this question to Arthur, our legal office.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I think the issue is, yes, the government has said two things. One, that you cannot cut pay, you cannot terminate. But at the same time, the government does not allow full force of your employee to go to work. In quite a few industries where you are not essential services, but you are allowed to operate, they put a limit as to how much or how many of your staff can go to work. Some 30%, some up to 50%. Now, in a way, the first thing you do, there are two issues here. One, you rotate your employees. So at any one time, you can, if it's 50%, so you have alternate working days or alternate working weeks. That's one thing, one solution. The other is, of course, for you to then discuss and negotiate with your employee. Okay, if the employee disagree with you and say, even if I don't come to work, you cannot cut my pay, and you cannot get something mutually agreed, that you have no choice. You need to pay them. So, Dr. Michael, this is one thing that definitely the government can look into in sorting out and resolving this issue. This is one lacuna in the measures that the government has put up. Okay, so it's left, I think, in phase one of the MCO. It's made very clear you cannot terminate, you cannot cut pay. So the staff who decided not to come to work, okay, will have to be still given full pay. But I think as the MCO carry on, phase 2, phase 3, now phase 4, the position is slightly more relaxed in that you can talk to and discuss, negotiate with your employee. And the advice is that, the employee and the employer should work hand in hand, so to make sure that the business can sustain, can survive, so that it can carry on in the future. But the short answer to your question, I think, is Gerard, is that if they don't want to come to work, there's nothing you can do except where there is mutual consent and mutual agreement. Okay.
Any more question from the floor?
Back to Arthur, I think was the one who spoke about the staffing, right? I was informed that you cannot rotate your staff because once you submit your staff list to MITI, that's it. And then if you intend to switch your staff just because the staff doesn't want to work, then you need to reapply again, and that's going to take another period of time. Now, this is based on manufacturers who told me that when they apply, they must make sure that whoever they list in the staffing list are the ones who really want to work. They cannot submit and then expect to get approved and then resubmit staff list because a few of them refuse to come in. So how do we mitigate this? Because there will be a lot of questions on this, and rotating staff at this point in time, I think MITI has already said no to, from my knowledge. Thank you.
Okay, in MCO 3, government opened up 9 industry, additional 9 industry, all include the previous MCO 1 and 2, those who are in operation must go and apply with this QR code. Submit 100% workforce. Please remember 100% workforce, not only 50% workforce. So you submit 100%, then you can utilize your 100% workforce. And MITI will approve whether allow you to 30%, 50%, or 70%. MITI in the letter will state that very clear. If 50% means that you can rotate whatever your employee when you submit, because you have in the MITI website, in the MITI QR code, they will show 100% of your employee name. So when enforcement come to your factory to inspect, as long as the workers is in the list, you are safe. You can rotate whatever. This is the main idea when we suggest to the government that allow the operator or SME to replace their employee, or those who refuse to come, they can get the replacement internally. So this is the main idea. So make sure submit 100%.
See if I can confirm what Dato just said, Dato Michael said. So quite a few of my clients who've taken advice are actually submitted the full name list of the workforce, be it 30% or 50%. Then from there, whoever can work will work and is not sick will go through the schedule of rota. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, then I at least can share together with some of the manufacturers who are in touch with me asking with this kind of questions, because when they first initially got the information was you can only submit 50%. So they do 50%. And then after that, now, you know, rules change all the time. So they go like, can you like make sure this is like sent out? Because yeah.
This is why I don't listen to the rumors. Please. Very clear. Why? Because in the MCO 1 and MCO 2, when I helping the MITI to do all those, all SME complain, but they got only 50% approved. So only 50% are working. The other 50% working, stay at home, but getting the service. That's why a lot of not coming. So that's why on the MCO 3, when open up, they allow you must submit 100% of your workforce.
Okay. So this would be applicable also to the medical industry, I would imagine then.
Everyone,
doesn't matter.
Everyone.
Okay, because the medical industry needs to operate in a 100% capacity in order to ensure that they can meet the export demands, right?
Yes. Everybody, whoever apply.
Cool. Thank you.
Hi. There's another point is currently those who have been allowed to reopen up, all the employees need to undergo a COVID test, which costs between $300 to $500 per employee. Yes. Already we are running out of cash flow, and we need, this is another burdensome for the company, you know. I think something we should look into it.
This is under so pay for you. You don't need to pay single cent. So already come out the guideline. Please read the guideline and the social website. SOSO will inform you when in the website when you allow you go for test or pay by SOSO if you are a SOSO contributor. This include. Okay, this includes
supposed to be paid by SOSO.
Yes, this also include the foreign workers. All those foreign workers which register with SOSO. I understand only 700,000 foreign workers registered with SOSO. Another 1.5 million foreign workers did not register. So that is the huge burden for the SME. Refuse.
Okay, guys, I see a question from Leong, if I can pick that up.
Yes.
It says, is there any legal implication penalty if the company practice pay cut and apply for wage subsidy at the same time? Leong, it depends on, let me try to understand your question first. Now, are you saying the staff that you are going through pay cut are the staff who got the subsidy? Under PSU 50, your declaration when you apply for your subsidy, you have to confirm and declare that you will not terminate them, nor will you pay cut them. So in the event that the staff whom you got subsidy for, then you cannot pay cut. Okay. You cannot pay cut without their consent. So and in essence, I think Dato mentioned this before. I think we are the government is a little bit more lenient in this if they self-terminate or something. But you cannot pay cut them. Okay, in essence, if you have taken the subsidy, you cannot pay cut them for the next 6 months. Okay, but on a separate question, if you have, for example, 10 staff which you apply for subsidy, the other, let's say 20 is above 4,000 and you cannot get subsidy, those who did not get subsidy but in the same company, you can negotiate and do a pay cut. That's my answer. Thank you.
For your info, this is Chang. I think some group don't even nego, just issue a memo out across the board, all pay cut. Start from 1st April.
Hi Chang, you are correct. I have a list of at least about 30 big companies. Okay, I won't mention names, but there are big companies where they tell the staff this is the management company decision. So I suppose the staff will be deemed to have agreed, and when they take their pay, the pay slip there, they will have an acknowledgement and a confirmation of their consent of some sort. But if the staff retaliates, then those pay cut cannot be enforced against the employee. Otherwise, you may have labor issues.
Saying that the staff got choice, if they don't agree, they can take legal action against the company.
Yes. In the sense that I think the companies will know very well, because the guidelines given by the government is very clear. You cannot pay cut. Okay, so in the event that they do, then they have infringed direct directive from the government. Okay, and if they make the complaint to the labor department, the complaint will be taken up.
But the company just take the chance, right?
I don't think it's a matter of taking the chance. I think the issue is an issue of probably surviving through this period.
Exactly.
We all know it's not a simple issue of just the MCO. The COVID-19 effect, okay, is not even the aftermath. The effect will go on, I think, easily until end of the year. Dato, Dato Michael, for your info, I think government have all these statistics already. Like the Malaysian Factory Owner Association have declared already, if the MCO carry on, about 50% of the factories are going to close because they cannot sustain for another 3 more months. In 3 months' time, there'll be 50% closed down. The Malaysian Employers Federation has confirmed, okay, they anticipate 2 million unemployment. So there's going to be an avalanche of unemployed or people who got terminated. Even Bank Negara has confirmed that they anticipate 4% of unemployment. Okay, that would translate to about 620,000 unemployed. So this is a huge avalanche. In 2008, 2009, that recession, one of the very good measures that the German government implemented is that they would give subsidy for retraining. Okay, and they give soft loan, i.e., we don't want to burden the government, but you can give soft loan. The loan that is given now is utilized very quickly. Like you said before, it's maybe only about 1,000 or 2,000 companies can get the bank loan. Okay, so what the government can do is they give small loan, 1 to 300,000 or 3 to 500,000 on 0 to 1%. And one of the things that does not burden the government would be the EPF, like the gentleman who said before. Maybe you don't have a zero contribution. Okay, you have contribution, but on a minimum wage level. So especially those who earn 4,000 and above, what we are looking at is to put food on the table. You're not looking at saving money now. Everybody is trying to just get through this this period. Okay, 有饭吃就好了. That kind of situation. So to suspend EPF for both sides for the period, maybe until end of the year, some limited period, is definitely a good issue, because the employee get more money in their pocket to use for the moment, and the employers, the SME, get much better cash flow. You know, those are the things that maybe we can look into. In terms of the rental issue that was brought up just now, I think maybe I've spoken to quite a lot of people, and they are saying, look, a lot of contracts don't have the force majeure clause, and a lot of the force majeure clause do not actually say what is the outcome, what is the result of the operation of the force majeure clause. So to have the COVID-19 covering the force majeure clause, or implementing a force majeure clause, would help, for example, the private sector tenants. You know, then at least it's not open to negotiation where it is at the mercy of the landlord. Okay. Thank you, Dato.
Thank you, Arthur. I'm not sure what the COVID-19 Act inside, and also when I discussed with the minister, he told me like similar something like Singapore, but how it go about, I'm not sure. But definitely force majeure, this government will definitely not going to declare that, because they have some concern. I'm not sure what is the concern. I will talk to the governments. I think governments will definitely not declare force majeures, but you're going to come out the COVID-19 Act. I think hopefully the Act will be going to table on 18 May. If hopefully the Act will able to help the tenants to solve their problem.
Chang, one key thing, yeah, just follow up on just now what I'm saying when Arthur got the answer, right? What I'm saying is like, in SME, right, when everyone talk about survival, if government so-called so many SOP and make it so difficult for SME to resume their business, right, ultimately a lot of people will be forced to violate certain rules and law, you know. Just like I mentioned, even big group, they don't care, they still issue out and say that across the board pay cut, right? So ultimately they expect all the staff, because they're worried recession coming, maybe got no job, expect all the staff to sign. If you don't sign, then you take labor law, things like that. So that's why I said government should look at it, how to facilitate and make it more easier for all the SME to resume their normal business or work, you know. It's not like you say you open up more industry, but ultimately you take into so many SOP. I think everyone will find that it's very, very, very difficult, you know.
Thank you. We'll convey your message then. Any more?
I think there's a question asked. He said that my customer are based in other state, but PDRM don't allow cross-border travel. How about that? But as far as I know, once you have the QR code in the letter, you travel interstate is not an issue. Is that so, Michael? Dato? Because I know, because my company itself, when I got the letter, my staff can travel to even from here to Taiping. That's not a issue.
Yeah. Because that's why you all submit the name under MITI website with the QR code. Police will scan the QR code. They'll find, you know, the staff name in the system. That's it. You know, they allow.
I noticed that there are a lot of complaint about the loan, bank loan. A lot of bank, they just reserve their loan for their own, you know. And Dr. Tony, do you face any problem with the bank when for loan application on your end, on the steel industry?
I think from my side also, quite a lot of members asking. So some they apply for 1 million, but only get 20% allow that lah. But very limited people, they are willing to get about 100%, means that they get 1 million lah. But due to the banks, because they have a very close relationship with the banks, key person in charge. So after the application, very short period of time, they will get information. The bank is approved, but they need a bank negara approval and a CGC or whatever. So they are still waiting for the result. But most of them, they are complain. So until today, still cannot able to get the loan yet, but only get approval from the bank. But their bank are not promised because need to wait for the bank negara and this CGC bank to get what the guarantee on that, only able to get the funds. But only some of them are asking about, few of them still already get the application approved and even just get their loan last week. But most of them haven't get yet. So maybe I think Dato' Michael can help them to get some info from our bank negara. So how they are going to chase and how the way that they can get the information, just waiting, because why now is almost second weeks of this Apple. So most of the SME, our members, their cash flow is very tight, and they need the funds very early soon for their employee salary soon for this coming end of this month. So that's why they need it very urgently. But they have no window person to complain. Then this is one big issue for those SME. They ask for help for our association to get more information from our banks. Dato' Michael maybe can note down and arrange a dialogue with the bank negara or CGC to get more. I mean, like many of them mentioned, a lot of SOP, a lot of very messy documentation work for application. That's why they got no window person to get the real result. When can I get it? We can get the approval or not? They are just waiting. Even like MIDI, they want to apply for early start work, but MIDI just replied rejected without any reason. They are just trying to appeal. It wastes a lot of time for them. This is some of member question there.
Okay, thanks, Dato' Tony. Also, Dato' Michael, there are also the issue of credit missing.
But then,
Go ahead, Michael. You say something?
I say the MITI website, whatever you reply, they reject. Definitely there is a reason. Ask their member and check the reason why. Maybe some of them they reject because they did not submit this local government license. Some of them they better ask them to go and check, with the website. Then you go back and appeal again. The others, bank loans, need more information. I think you can collect the company name, all those. Please, I need the information to check on behalf of those applicants. If not, I can't, because when I check with the bank negara, I need the company name. He asked me, I don't have, what is the reason? I can't produce information. I can't produce the actual case to the bank negara. So I hope those who have issue, please give us the information. Like even some of the bank are asking for insurance. I think bank negara did not impose buy insurance, so you are not allowed to buy any insurance. I know that's why it's option unless you all want to buy. Not bank did not impose. If bank asks you to buy insurance, please give me the documents. I will talk to the bank negara, and bank negara currently are looking into it. Currently, as far as I understand, Maybank and the other bank are who. So bank negara is looking into it. Next.
Okay, I will get all the details.
Yeah, one more question is that, Dato' Michael, on the other part of the loan, the credit leasing company. Remember the credit leasing company?
I already say credit leasing company also same. They also monitoring defer for any not give me the leasing company and your company name if leasing company did not give you the moratorium. Okay, our
Good. Thanks, Uncle. So any other question? There's one more on the CIDB. Their company claimed that they do not register with CIDB. They couldn't get the approval to work. Is it true?
currently construction is approved by it's possible. Let
I think all construction firms have to apply for CIDB before they start work for any project. Maybe this one is under G1, G2. Some of them still haven't registered for CIDB. For those 90% and above construction, so even they are rejected by media, how they are going to appeal it, Dr. Michael?
Online appeal again, there's online, they ask them to re-appeal, check the result. Like that.
Because their complaint, they apply for above 90% to going to complete just less than 10% work. But the application, online application is very simple, just a few columns to fill in. But they cannot attach file to prove that the project is really nearest complete. That's why they are just rejected from the media. So they are also very confused at how to appeal it.
Appeal, I think you talk to the CIDB if you are a CIDB member, because construction is approved by the CIDB.
Okay, noted. I will tell them. Thank you, Dato'.
Anybody from the floor to talk about it? Anything?
Yes, if I can just say something while we're waiting for questions to come in. Dato', a couple of things that since I'm the lawyer, maybe something a little bit on the legal side that you can reflect to the government. What we have in the Company Act and in the Insolvency Act, where they now made special measures for the company, whereby the company winding up, the threshold for winding up has been increased from 10,000 to 50,000, and that the notice period has been extended from 21 days to 6 months. That's very good for the company. But perhaps there are two things that can highlight to the government, Dato'. The first one is that they've done nothing for the individual bankruptcy. So they're not helping the sole prop or the partnerships because they are not companies. So the usual threshold and the usual period still applies. So if government can look into that to help out, because quite a lot of the SME are sole props and partnerships. The second thing is the corporate arrangements that they have under the Company Act and also in the Insolvency Act. That has got a lot of restrictions. If the AG chambers can look into it and make it a little bit more relaxed to apply. For example, the scheme arrangement are not applicable to certain of the arrangement. The public listed company cannot apply. In other arrangements, for example, the banks have a veto power, okay, despite the fact that the whole arrangement was supposed to get passed if 75% value of the creditors agree, but the bank get to veto, so no point. So there's an arrangement, the scheme arrangement, the voluntary arrangement is even not applicable when you have a secure charger situation, that you have a secure creditor. So a lot of businesses, I think 95% of the businesses would have bank loans, you see. So when you have bank loans, you cannot apply for all these voluntary arrangements. Therefore, it is a very good idea, but too restricted. Perhaps the government can look into it to relax it a little bit more. Those are the situations where, company, just to explain a little bit more, the scheme of arrangement is especially helpful to the companies and individuals where, you have a lot of creditors, like what I said before, Sapko Tong or Lok Koi. Then you can get the creditors to sit down and agree. Instead of paying one by one, you can get everybody to sit down. If 75% of them agree how to restructure or how to make payment to them, then you can go to court and get a court order. Then the remaining 25% cannot be stubborn. So it's very helpful to companies. But at the moment, it's too restricted. Maybe, hopefully, the AG chamber can, at least for this short period, maybe this 6 to 18 months, can relax it, just like they relax the winding up company requirements. Thank you, Dato.
Okay, thanks.
I got something from my friend asking also. So due to some SME, they apply for this subsidy from government below 4,000. So how about above 4,000? Mostly for SME, their office staff and skilled workers above 4,000 or nearly 10K plus minus. So now all the SME is suffering on cash flow problem. So it's very tight about cash flow. But the need to apply for the subsidy below 4,000, but they are above 4,000 salary above staff agree to cut down their salary. But how they are going to do? Are they can be nego with the staff agree to cut?
Okay, Dato, Tony, is it easier if I answer in Mandarin or English?
Yeah, you can Mandarin also can. I think
either way, I think in essence, those who are being applied for subsidy, you cannot do a wage cut. You cannot cut their pay. Okay, those who are above 4,000 or even below 4,000 that you didn't apply. That is why some of my friends, they decided not to apply for the subsidy, because the subsidy only $600. Okay, or even if it's more, it's not enough to cover more than a month. So you still have to sustain for another 6 months. So they rather not ask for the subsidy, but go on with the pay cut. Okay, they can do that. Those above 4,000, definitely, if by mutual consent, if they agree, you can enforce the pay cut, no issue.
Because for them, it's almost 50% to 50% for the below 4,000 and above 4,000. Now they're really facing some very tight on the cash flow problem. That's why they must go apply for this subsidy. But at the same way, they nego with their above 4,000 salaries staff. But the staff agree. The staff is agree. But the government put a lot of this issue and agenda beside that. That's why a lot of SOP. That's why they don't know how to do it.
不是的，I think 的情况是这样子的。那些拿了你去申请 subsidy 的那个，你不可以 pay cut。不过没有申请 subsidy 的那些员工，你可以 pay cut，只要双方同意的话，都可以 pay cut 的，没有问题的。
他们讲是below 4,000他拿了，然后 above 4,000政府讲不可以pay cut。
没有，我所了解到不是，是那些你申请，就算他是 below 4,000，然后你申请了那个 subsidy 的那些员工，你不可以pay cut。
没有哦，他写了是不可以的哦。
不是，我看他们看错了。好的。
OK， 我再讲。4,000
and above。OK。
因为太多的这些东西搞到全部人都乱了为什么政府又要 subsidy， 又要借钱，又要补贴，那就加这样多的那些条款。
他们不清楚的话，就问 SME 把那个问题放进来，我们都可以为他解答。
OK， 好，谢谢。
Any more?
I think there's some question from Facebook.
I saw on Facebook someone to talk about you can in Bahasa it's not issue.
Ya. Bahasa Malaysia pun bagus. So you want me to read out the question from the Facebook, Dato?
Yeah.
The question is, when can the HRDF strategy initiative implementation guideline, which came out earlier, but withdrawn within few days, is it going to come out again under HRDF?
I'm not on the HRDF side because we did not really deal with HRDF.
Yeah, if you want to make clear the question, because the question also quite vague lah. HRDF, there are a couple of things they are going to come out, but no concrete. I think no concrete proposal been out for us yet, right? And I see a question that asking for microcredit perhatian still available. Masih ada tak BSN microcredit perhatian?
Yes.
But as far as I know, it should be there. It should be there, right?
Still a lot to go and apply. Not only not only BSN, I think for Bumi Putra, you also can apply the Tukun. Tukun maximum is 10,000. I think the fund's still there, so zero interest rate. Especially for Bumi Putra, they can apply both.
Good. Anything from the participant here? Any more question you want to ask?
I'm asking on behalf of Mr. Fu, who put in the chat group, can BNM come up with a daily infograph on total SRF applied, approved, rejected, and in progress? This applies to the other two facilities, which is for agro and auto and digitization facilities.
In the Bank Negara Malaysia.
Yes, so they're asking whether, like how they do it for the cases of COVID-19, how many cases active, how many being treated, how many this. Would it be possible for BNM to come up with it?
Yes, Bank Negara did come out. I think, if I'm not mistaken, currently they approved 5,000 company, 0.6 billion have been approved, utilized. Yes. Any more?
Any more question from the Facebook?
Yes, there's many questions from Facebook.
Please read out, Jacob. You don't mind?
Okay, first one, is there any legal implication or penalty if the company apply for subsidy wages from Pakistan and at the same time have pay cut for the staff above 4K?
Above 4K, no. Above 4K, you can negotiate with your staff as long as mutual. I think you can do a pay. Below, I think most of them, when you apply, you have signed a declaration form, agreed not to do pay cut and unpaid leave.
Okay, noted. Next question. The current subsidy is not helpful enough. To make matters worse, bank loans are not easy to get. Bank only give to their own customer. Any suggestion, Dato' Michael Kang?
Okay, why the giving to own customer? Because it's easier for bank to process loan as the most of the bank they have all your detail, your daily transaction with the bank, so easier because during the MCO time, a lot of company not able to produce the document. So you go back to your own bank, which you are currently using. You don't have facility, it's fine as long as you are using current account there, your daily transaction with the bank, you go to that bank, I think for them it's more easier to process your loan. If you go to the new bank, they have to provide all detail, include your 6-month bank statement, plus all your documents, certified copy, and EPF, and social contribution, all document to the bank. Then only they're able to look into it and take longer to process.
Okay. Next question. What is being offered under SME automation and digitalization facility? What is being offered under SME automation and digitalization facility?
I think you're talking about digital or talking about digital transformation fund or under this SRF. I think under currently there are also some what do you call this digitization for the digitization facilities called ADF. Okay, this ADF is just a loan, you know, that give you up to 10 years at the 4% financial rate, and it's called automation and digitization facility. And SME can apply with the criteria of 51% hold by Malaysian company. And that under this Perhatian, there's no other digitization grant. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay, next question. Government still owe our company GST worth 5 figure. Can they pay us back as soon as possible?
Okay, the GST, I already say, tell many times, please go to the custom website also as well. You can go ahead before you do audit. You just inquiry BG this tax to the custom. You pay 10% bank guarantee, then custom will refund you 100%. And after audit, they will refund you the bank guarantee if you want the money fast. So they can do it within a week.
Okay. Next question. Has SME Association given any suggestion or facility to self-employed? Facility or any grant from the government focus on those self-employed group?
If self-employed, if you are micro, there is a 3,000 ringgit. You can start apply first 2nd of May. You know, the government is going to come out the guideline. You can apply the one is called micro. So you can apply unless you did not register any company, then it's not possible, because as long as you are registered with SSM or local government, you have any license, business license, which IRB registration, you can apply the 3,000 subsidy.
Okay. Okay, next question. We will be implementing 6-day works a week after the MCO fully lifted to cope back what we have missed. Can we do that?
How many days?
6 days.
No, this period you decide, because as long as MITI grant you the work, you can work 7 days is okay, but currently it's only 8 to 8. Factory, yeah. Then some they have to follow local government. If you're a shop lot, then follow the local government's.
Okay. Okay. Next question is about the MITI application. After 6 days of my application in MITI, still shows status Baharu. How long usually they take to review my status?
What MITI in the website they are talking about, they are originally the announced is 5 days. So you all can call MITI and ask your application. Okay.
Next one is about unstuff the container in the port, because the user already got a lot of penalties.
All the container minister already announced many times every weekend you're allowed to clear your container, whether you're essential good or please go and clear your container as soon as possible. If you didn't clear, I think it's your forwarder problem. I think your forwarder did not inform you, you did not do your duty, you need to change your forwarder.
Okay. Noted. Okay, next question. Is SME Association planning to set up, provide voluntary subject matter expert to help SME in Malaysia?
Yes. We are going to set up the SME rescue team, include the lawyers, all professionals, give advice to all the SME who are facing problems. We try to assist wherever we can.
So to add on that, please go to our website and sign up as our web portal member. It's free, and then we will contact you through there.
Okay, thank you, CS. Okay, next question. I apply for subsidy as well as do a pay cut to the amount I can afford, and this pay cut is agreed in black and white by the employees. In this situation, will I face any legal issue? Arthur?
Okay, just switched on my speaker. Yes, I think you will have problem because your pay cut in that sense is against the government directive. So even if it's consented, unless the staff don't report you, if the staff report you or the government finds out, you would have a problem. I'm sure there's going to be a fine or something to punish you. So if you ask for subsidy already, you should not do a pay cut. Okay, but let me also take this opportunity to answer another question which is related to this. But within this period, what the government say is you cannot pay cut. Now, under Section 2 of the Employment Act, wages exclude allowances. So in that sense, any adjustment in terms of allowances or leave, be it annual leave or unpaid leave, the government has not have any directive to say you cannot. So you should read between the lines. Okay?
Okay, thanks, Arthur. Okay, next question to Dr. Michael KANG. Since the meeting allowed 50% workforce, so the employee will only come to work half of the month. Do we pay full salary or pay 50% based on their work attendance?
I think this is salary. I think you have to pay. You still have to calculate by hours.
Okay. Okay. Next one. Okay. Noted. Next one. If we start work, if our employee affected by COVID-19, the SOP stated that we have to pay all the medical expenses for the employee. This may be very costly and risky for the small company to start work. What is your suggestion and opinion on this, Dato?
Okay, I think moment-wide this clause, I think it's very clear. We hope that all the SME, all the operators can really take care of their staff, help, especially welfare or put all the SOP in place, what KKM SOP in place, sanitizers, masks, and thermometers. All this must be in place. Hope that you can protect your staff. The virus, to kena COVID-19. I think it's very important. So any company facing this issue and start operate from day one, even start 4 hours, and today I think I have never heard a few thousand staff as well. They have no issue on this issue, facing this issue before. I think well on this help of the taking care of the cleanliness of the education as well. Every company can really seriously look into this so that the virus will not spread around anymore after the let the business operate. We can control it, and then maybe another 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, we can 100% uplift the MCO.
Dato, maybe I can have a follow-up question. My understanding is this ruling, this SOP is only for company that start work during MCO, correct? Now, that is my understanding. So after the MCO, this SOP may not be applicable. Now, the second issue to follow up with that, Dato, is this. Now, let's say if you follow all the SOP, you have the sanitizers, you clean up the factory, and half of your work staff force only come into the factory to work, but one of the staff, when he goes home, he get infected by the wife who went to the market, went to pasar and bought things, and then got infected by COVID-19. Okay, then this staff gets the COVID-19 from home, but because we started work, then all his medical expenses will have to be borne by the company. And if he comes back to work and affect other employees, as the Chinese say, he'll be very jialat already. So, is there any more detail in the SOP that we can follow? Because if we follow all the SOP, but nonetheless the employee get infected from other sources, then how are we to be responsible?
I think the line is bad.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael line is bad. Michael line is bad.
How come the employer have to bear all the costs? Dr. Michael, you can go ahead. Dr. Michael. Line is bad, I think.
Yes.
I'm saying is after the post-COVID new.
Okay.
It will definitely. Yeah, I think the after KKM, after the COVID, post-COVID, uplift of the MCO, I think the KKM SOP still continue.
The line is bad. I think now some of the industry already start work, especially like those hardware and some related industry, they are already start work. So I think they also now worry about the issue about if any happening, they have to pay all the costs. This is what the SME very worry. I think governments also put this stupid thing to all the employers are suffering now. Work also die, no also die. 做又死，唔做又死啊！都Michael come back already. 都Michael 你的线不好。Stop again.
Dato Tony 靠自己啊，例如食自己啊。
食自己啦 ，so I think so 啦。So but now it's important that our factories and our office without any COVID-19, but our employee come to work, or maybe you open your shop, your client come over here, but who bring the COVID-19 to your factory or your office? It's not your factory to pursue the virus, right? So I think this is not responsibility, a loose regulation to all the employer now. So especially for SME, they have to bear all the costs. This MCO is announced by the government. Government should bear all the costs to learn from our neighbor country like Singapore, subsidize 75% of salary without any term and condition. Or learn from our Japan's, our neighbor Japan, 100% subsidize the salary without any term and condition. This is I think we wish our government can do that lah, but I don't think so lah. Michael 刚没有线了，应该。
Yeah, I think Michael is out the bit.
The line out. I think how many time we still have? We go another 1-2 question lah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Anyone want to talk, please?
Yeah, or any question from the floor? Okay, if don't have, then I read the question from the Facebook. Okay, here is one question from the Facebook. How to apply grant khas prihatin PKS or automatic will banking to company account?
I think the one, the 3,000 one you're asking about, right? The 3,000 micro grant?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, apparently the LHDN will come up with the procedure for those registered with them. They will automatically transfer. That's what we heard the last time. Until like Dr. Michael said just now, until next month, you will see the what they call it, the actual action will be taken by LHDN. So the income tax government will take immediate action to just go direct and bank in the money to your account once you're registered with them. So you do not have to do anything right now.
Okay, noted. Okay, next question. If we have applied for WSP, can we reduce the staff working hours in order to reduce the overall company salary cash flow?
Sorry, can I have the question again, please?
Okay. If we have applied for the WSP, can we reduce the staff working hour in order to reduce the overall company salary cash flow?
Okay, I
think this one.
I see the question. Okay, sorry, Dato', you want to talk first?
No, because the salary is by day or by month. If you reduce, how do you going to reduce on daily or monthly salary? This is my question.
Yeah, the question is not very clear to me, Jason Lim. But in essence, what the government is saying is that you cannot terminate nor can you cut pay. Okay, but if your calculation of pay is on a daily basis, so if you're reducing your working day as such, then of course your payment will be less. But if it is not a daily wage, if it is a monthly wage, okay, 就是你是端月来算的，那个就 too bad, you cannot cut down the wage. Okay, so if you by your own self reduce the working days from 6 days to 5 days, that means you're giving your employee better benefit, but you cannot reduce pay. Okay, does that answer your question? I hope.
Dr. Michael Kang is come back. Waiting for your closing note.
Hi, this is Lynn again. A company has said that they applied with 50% staff and they have already been approved. Now they would like to submit 100%. Can they go in to appeal or do they need a resubmission of this?
They have to resubmit. Same fresh application.
Okay.
Same account and register.
Okay, thank you.
So everything good? I just came back because my line just now totally off.
Too heavy rain outside.
I have a question. When you say that applying to the MITI for the start worker, 50% staff strength, 50% of what figure taken from what month?
Meaning,
You have to submit. You have to submit. Hello.
Yeah, it's like a construction site. You know, the construction site, sometimes the workers, they have, sometimes they have 20 people, sometimes they have 100 people, sometimes they got 50 people. So at stage to stage, their manpower actually varies. So on what relative to pack at which month that the 50% is actually based on?
Okay, depend on numbers of worker you currently have. They don't based on which month. They're based on how many numbers, what kind of workforce you need. Then that you have, currently you have. Then you submit whatever you have on hand.
So basically, the 50% is actually no use one, right? You can say 50% of 25. I mean, before the MCO, you are using 25 people as site. So after MCO, you can declare you are 50% of 50 is 25 also.
Yes.
So now you are still having 100% workforce.
No, that means you must 50. That means you have all the names with the IC numbers. You have to submit. Understand? So you must have all their passport, even the foreign work passport numbers.
Okay.
I think Edward, besides that also you need to submit your project planning for previous few months and onward this coming few months.
I see. That means you have to show your previous project, your previous progress projection lah.
Yes.
Okay.
So then improve them. The previous one projection, how many numbers of worker there, then coming your project, how many months going to complete, with how many numbers of worker, then with their name list and passport proving. If not, I think cannot also.
I have another question is, if the developer wants to start work, but can we as a consultant or the contractor or the subcontractor have the right not to start work, request do not want to start work?
No, actually, like same thing. My side also got many questions that bank have to bear all the responsibility, okay? But client request the main con to start work. So who are going to bear all the responsibility? So of course, client say he won't answer you with any black and white, just ask you to start work. But like us, we are main contractor, we can, hey, you ask me to start work, but if any happening aside or any affected on this COVID-19, who going to bear all the costs? So now all the project is still suffering and waiting for clear information. People want to start work, but nobody want to bear the responsibility. That's why I think this government act on this term and condition is really make all the people suffering now. Don't know how to work and how to do.
As far as I understand, even though I ask my staff to start work, it must be mutually agreed that he is willing and I want him to start, and he's willing to say yes, I agree, I'm willing to start. But if he not willing, I cannot force him to start work also. So same thing also, the main con cannot force the subcon to start work if the subcon say I don't want to start. Can it be like, you know, it just reply back one step to another?
But same thing, my friend also asking, he got few, I mean, very little percentage of this worker. This employee is a performance not well previously, but now they take this excuse, okay? Because due to COVID-19, they don't come to work. Can them fire them? So I think this is another question. I let Arthur Wang to answer it.
The lawyer.
I'm waiting for my chance to talk. Okay, I think Edward, if I can answer you first, Edward. I think depends on your contract. Okay, if your contract says that you must start work upon instruction, okay, then it's just like loss and expense. Okay, if it is up to their instruction to ask you, it is only natural that they bear the consequences. Okay, unless you can be found to be negligent. Okay, you need to see your contract. Or another example is if your contract got force majeure clause. Then you say it's a force majeure. I cannot act. I cannot work because the government say I cannot work.
Is this a force majeure? Until today, this definition has not been defined yet.
Oh, no, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. The definition of force majeure is very clear. The force majeure definition is very clear already. It has got a lot of previous case law. Okay, it is also in the statute. But the important thing is, how is your contract worded? Let's say your contract, if you look into your force majeure clause, it depends on how that clause has been worded.
I see.
How do you apply that clause into your situation? Because if your clause, your force majeure clause says that it covers epidemic, which includes pandemic, okay, or government in directives, then it's very clear. You do not have to work if the force majeure clause stipulates these incidents. So it's very clear.
I see.
All right. So the answer to your question is to look at your contract. All right, Edward?
Okay, if the contract not so clearly stated, is there any other statute that I can actually refer to?
You can speak to your lawyer. There is the doctrine of frustration. We discussed about this in the previous chat. Maybe you can look back into the slides or whatnot. If not, if you want to put up a copy of your agreement to the SME association, the legal department will help you to have a look at it and come back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so since it's talking about the construction works, how about those involved in house renovation contractor? They're still allowed to work?
Okay, now whether it's house renovation or you're doing plumbing or you're doing renovation or whatnot, it all depends whether you have been approved by the government to work. If it is not approved by the government to work, you cannot work. As simple as that. Okay, at the same time, again, you need to see what contract you have with your employer or your main con. In case of subcon, you need to see what is the agreement between the subcon and the main con. Okay, so it's all as per your agreement. You need to see your agreement. As per my previous chat, I say, look, the first thing you do is to look at your agreement, see whether you have a force majeure clause. If you don't have a force majeure clause, then you are in a bit of a problem. You need to run to a lawyer and say, look, whether I can get into frustration. Okay, it's quite technical, but it's very clear. Okay.
Okay. We have another question from the floor here. It's written, are we expecting more SME stimulus cash from the government? Dr. Michael?
Dr. Michael, your speaker.
I'm still not sure yet how, because I still did not receive any suggestion from the floor, what kind of similar package, additional assistance from the government. Because like let's say, how you all want to go about, all these things, I need your feedback so that I can propose. Last time we proposed 1,002 because of the certain guideline we are based on. So we need, that's why we need to know how serious challenges you all face. Then only I know. That's why I need more detailed information. Let's say like SME, what kind of your how you're going to overcome your cash flow. How much you all need assistance from the government. Other than that, how you are going to generate your own income. All those I need more information from your side.
Okay, understand. Okay, another question. Is it wise for us to get bank loan if we cannot guarantee business forecast even after 6 months? Since many say that the impact can be until end of 2020, impact of the COVID-19?
I think this is what depend. I think this will also depend on you and your bankers, how you can tell. I think bank will give the loan because of you have your current account, with the bank, your transaction, they know your background for the last 3 years you have been using the bank transaction, they see their flow. I think then from there they will judge what's the loan they're going to give it to you. This is why this is working used for you to as a working capital, and also that's why you use to overcome your cash short-term cash issue.
Okay, another question. Okay, beside the wages subsidy for the staff below RM4K salary, how about for the staff above 4K salary? Is there any government to planning on the wages subsidy for this group of people?
So far, no. So far, they have not. Government did not give those with above 4,000. You to negotiate with your staff on the unpaid leave or pay cut or whatever, you can negotiate with your staff.
Okay, next question. Will Bank Negara or any banks extending moratorium to trade lines beside loan repayment moratorium?
Bank Negara. So far, no. So far, only Bank Negara only focus on SR.
Okay, next question. Will IRB looking into expediting tax refund to help cash flow of business?
What do you mean?
Will IRB looking into expediting tax refund to help cash flow for business?
I think definitely IRB will definitely speed up the refund on that, because I think they also know that the SME, especially businesses, are shortage of funds. That's why they are definitely speed up all the process.
Okay, next question. How soon can we get the wages subsidy after submission to the authority?
Very fast. Within a week, you will get it already. So far, I think they already dispersed 4 billion already.
Normally 1 to 2 week time. 1 to 2 week time.
What they say, they also say 7 to 14 days, but normally they'll get it. A lot of them they get, I think, within 7 days.
But first batch,
if your documents are all in orders, all your documents in orders.
Only first batch I think done. Second batch don't know yet.
Second batch, no, done already. All done already. First batch is 200 million. Second batch is 1 billion already out.
Okay. Here is a question about the rental. As we see, many property owners still asking full rental amount from the tenant. So, any suggestion on the rental side?
I think rental, I already mentioned, you all still have to negotiate with your landlord. The new COVID-19 Act coming out, see whether it will supersede all the agreement or not. So then only you currently you decided to pay now or later, this is your choice, but you please negotiate with your landlord.
Also depends on the landlord agreement, very important.
Okay. This question to Arthur. Can we have a mutual agreement for staff to apply unpaid leave after we apply for the wages subsidy?
That's a very good question. As far as my understanding go, and I'm giving my disclaimer on this, from my reading of the FAQ, it says that you cannot terminate and you cannot cut wage. It doesn't say anything about the staff taking their annual leave during this period, or that they take unpaid leave. So technically speaking, my personal opinion is yes. If you can get mutual consent, the answer is yes. you can. Okay, they leave, the government leaves you to discuss and negotiate with the employee as to how you want to arrange your annual leave or your unpaid leave. Okay, so during this period, I think in short, during this period, the staff is always allowed to apply for leave, be it annual leave or unpaid leave. Okay, that's the answer.
Okay, thank you, Arthur. Okay, next question. Okay, how about in the safety maintenance service company? Are they required to register with CIDB, which is not under construction?
They are also service to construction. Whatever people need to enter to construction site, they need CIDB. So I think it's very clear because their customer is mostly on manufacturing and construction site. If they need to enter to all those construction sites, they need a CIDB.
Okay, thank you, Dato. Okay, next question. Our company is supporting the company under essential service. They requested our service, but our application was rejected by MITI. Are we allowed to operate, or is it legal if they give us their letter with my employee names?
But I think that they need to appeal again. They need to appeal to get the approval again.
I think if they are supporting essential service, they should be able to get their approval. But if they put the employee name inside your letterhead, then you work, that one is not so right.
You will definitely gonna.
Okay, last question here. Okay, what will be in this COVID-19 Act that you guys mentioned just now?
Act, we still doesn't know what is the content. The law minister in charge law are dropping it, with all the ministry. Have not seen what is the content of the. We can only wait until the Parliament's 15th of May.
Okay, thank you, Dato. Okay, any question from the floor?
Hi, Dato. I'm not too sure whether you guys can talk on behalf of the retail industry, but this is pertaining to the shopping malls, because all the shopping malls are closed, right? So in this aspect, there are a lot of retailers who cannot open, but they're paying full rental at this point in time. We only know a handful of them who have decided to give some kind of discounts or actually waive the rental for now, but there are others who have not done so. How they are asking if it's possible to get at least some kind of directive from the government so that the retailers can then at least recoup some of their monies, because at this point in time, especially those selling clothing, they don't make any money whatsoever if they don't have an e-commerce website. And some of the restaurants who do operate from shopping malls and are not selling direct to customer at this point in time because the overheads are too expensive, there needs to be something done for them in this case, because they will not be able to survive otherwise. Thank you.
We are still talking to the government to see how to negotiate with all the landlord, and also hopefully, that's why I say hopefully COVID-19 Act will be able to help in terms of rentals, all those things. Malaysia Retail Change and with Malaysia Retail Change Association, MRA, are working hard on that. I'm not mistaken, tomorrow they're going to have a press conference to get government to help sit in and help on this, especially those retailers are facing a big problem.
I think now most of the big shopping mall, they agree to deduct their rental fees at least 50%, or some maybe 100% fee for 2 months. Only those small shopping mall don't know yet.
Another question, parking charges. It might sound very mean, but it actually can cost a company quite a bit. So certain companies I know in bigger buildings, the parking charges per month can be quite expensive. Are the parking vendors going to consider discounts? Because it would then help into the costing per employee, who otherwise some companies actually subsidize for their parking. If that is so, and we are looking at the lesser contributions for EPF, would this also be something? I understand parking is also a business, but if there is, and like retailers and also landlords, but at this point in time, I think every little bit helps. So it's just an idea. Maybe it might be something for parking vendors to consider through the SME Association, because a lot of them do operate from actual buildings like Shell and all that, and paying 1 month 400, 600 a month for parking is very expensive. And now with this, and they're still continuing to pay despite not being in office. So it's a lot of money coming out of pocket without actually being able to recoup it.
If I can just follow up with that question, Dr. Michael, I think the issue is all sorts of rental. Be it car rental, human rental, office rental, supermarket rental. Apart from what has been provided by the stimulus package by the government, there's still a big lacuna in terms of rental outside, where the companies are, zero income, zero occupancy, and yet, you're asked to pay full rental, subject to mutual negotiations. So you're at the mercy of the landlord. I think the government can really do something about it.
I think agree. This is one of the daily fees. Not only rental, toll also. So toll also must free for 6 months, zero. Then I think rental for this car park, their fees mostly in KL downtown center is quite expensive for those private car park company. So they are also facing another challenge, because due to their contract between their landlord also. I think for those empty lands should be easy lah. If those car park attached with those building in shopping mall, I think should be their rental fees is quite expensive also. Also.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Tony. I think it's almost time for us to wrap up. Do we have any final question? If not, then we will have Dato to say a few words, Dato Michael to say a few words, Dato Tony to say a few words, Dato to say a few words before we close down. I think it's quite long today, and we got a lot of good feedback as well. And we hope that you can help us. We have a survey link at our site. I already sent up in a group chat. Or you can go to our website, smemalaysia.org, to help us to fill up the simple survey form. And we will collect it, and you know that we are very close feedback to the government. We want to get real figure, and then this figure have to come from everybody. Please do share it out, our survey link, to your friends, your partners, or whoever in the market, and so that we can produce one strong voice to the government. And we would like to help all the SME during this COVID-19 difficult time for everybody. But all must help each other, right? I mean, we believe that if we can all help each other by doing a simple thing, go to our website, do a survey, it can help a lot to us as well. Dr. Michael, can you say a last word?
Okay, thank you. I think we need more feedback from y'all. I think from time to time, please keep your feedback, keep your issue, go to the SME website to register and post your question, post your issue. You know, we can help, try to help. Okay, just announced to say that we're going to set up the SME rescue team to help you all to solve all. We hope the SME can this crisis, and whatever solution try to help. That's why I thought you mentioned that we can get all the people to come on board to help us. fact include government to sit on board in our team to help you all to overcome your issue. We hope we can contribute more to the country economy, especially the workforce. We hope that the minimum to lay off all the stuff, get everyone's the food on the table. This is most important. I think thank you very much.
Dato Tony, see you few word.
Okay, thanks, Chin. Thanks, our President, Dr. Michael and Arthur. Thanks to all the participants, all the members. So we know everyone is suffering. So, but I think we still think positive. We can overcome this challenge. But as a SME association, one of the ESCO members, so we'll do our best to help all the members. So please come join us. As our president say, if you have any question, but don't throw the question without any clear information. It'll be very hard to bring your issue, your problem to those governments, departments and government sector. So please keep whatever your problem you're facing, the detail when you submit, how they reject. So pass it to us or join our SME association Facebook and pass it your message and your problem. Then our president and our team can write out this issue to all the government departments. But anyway, thanks Chin and all the committee behind that. Thank you for organizing this meaningful event. So hope you all have a very good evenings. So fight for this COVID-19. So all the best. Prepare for the worst. Okay, but wish for the best coming. Okay, all the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tony. And also our legal advisor, Arthur, he already offered himself. If you do have any legal question, you want to ask him directly, you can send the email to us, or I will tag down his email address for you to contact him directly for free services right now. But later he will charge you, I won't know, if you need more service from him. Okay, Arthur, can you say it?
Yeah, thanks to everybody for your efforts. My parting word is this. I think this round, I think it's going to be a recession. It's just how serious, how bad it is. I think the most important thing is to stay united in the company. Okay, important for the employer to explain the position to the employee and for the employee to understand. Okay, you have to be in the same boat. Okay, so make sure the boat don't sink. Okay, so the employer don't take advantage of the employee, and the employee, please, okay, be sensible and don't take advantage of the employer. This is not a public holiday. This is no free meal, free lunch time for everybody. Let's work together and hopefully we will be able to survive this pandemic, this MCO, and this recession. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Arthur. There are a few things we can help you. One, of course, from Dr. Tony, what Michael said, join us as our member. The other one is that now, because of COVID-19, we all trying to do everything online, e-commerce or digitization. And of course, we will be the right association to advise you where to go. In fact, there are some matching grant available. Also, some e-commerce onboarding promotion. E-commerce online grant. That means you can go online with some fund given by the government. So use it. If you have any doubts or don't know how to get it, just email us or join us as our web members. We will get back to you on that. And thank you very much. And good night, everyone. I'm hungry now. I don't know all of you. We're all hungry. Great. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your feedback. Thank you, everyone.
Cool. Thank you, SME Malaysia, and thank you, MyKRIS. Good night.
Before I forgot, thank you, MyKRIS again. Thank you, MyKRIS, for hosting the event. And some of us, our line is not so good, especially Dato. I think you have to upgrade your data. Your Dato line was quite bad. I think maybe the area.
Because training, the line is bad.
Then we complain to Telecom or TMNet or whatever, whoever have that.
Malaysia, nothing is.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Enjoy your dinner. Have a great day. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Need to cook now.